Yeah, exactly. So that's the whole point of that, is you're spraying the gray in all the areas that you want the, dynamic or the look of the part to what I call pop. That's where you want to focus on putting your gray. And then everything else is just like kind of misted on, just lightly to give that continuous kind of weathering look and the inside and so forth. And just a lot of it's just spraying in there and then just taking your sanding sponge in. I don't really wait for the gray to dry a lot. You don't want it wet, and you don't really want it tacky. You want it mostly dry because otherwise it'll just smear too much. But if it's basically almost dry and it's kind of smearing, it just kind of gives a little bit of a nicer look to it. But if you're not sure about that, just wait for it to dry, because if you wait for it to dry and you don't,
just squished a bug on it.
You got water? A bug just died on your... You squished a bug on it.
Oh, funny.
So if you want to wait for the gray to totally dry, this way, if you're sanding too much away, you can add more. I mean, this is basically like an eraser for you. But to get it to where it's just kind of lightly gray and then darker gray, that's you applying more coats or a thicker layer. So in the areas that you're going to want it gray, put it in there pretty solid, and all this other stuff here, it's really just holding the can far away or just letting the overspray just kind of fall into place.
Sorry, Kev. Can you back up? See, are you painting the whole thing gray first?
No, not at all.
Just the grooves and stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the gray you really do not want to paint the whole thing. You'll be sanding forever. So yeah, the gray is very minimal. Okay. Don't put a lot of gray.
Okay.
Don't put a lot of gray anywhere.
Right.
Don't put a solid coat where you see like a shiny reflection. It's not like that at all. Perfect. Perfect. I mean, you're literally just misting it on, because if you look at it really close here, okay, a lot of that gray there, that's straight out of the can. That's about all I'm putting on. Okay, the sanding sponge just kind of knocks off the higher points, leaves in the lower points, and then just kind of like gets rid of the speckled look that a spray can gives. So you don't want it to look like it's been sprayed directly out of a spray paint can. Okay, and the other thing is going kind of different directions. You see it kind of going this way and then kind of that way, because that's how it would be if you were trooping. You're not always going to fall and skid in the same direction every time, or something, or just things are going to happen.
So probably not circular motions either.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, not circular motions at all. Yeah, definitely straight motions, different directions. Yeah, you don't look at when you're kind of like buff junior. Yeah, I would not do any circular motions at all. Do different street motions. But yeah, the gray really is just a minimum amount. Don't spray that. It's not even a full coat. I mean, you're literally just spraying, misting it on.
So it's the white, all white first.
All white first. Let it fully dry.
Spots of gray.
Not. Well, not spots, but you want to be
afterwards.
Yeah, you want to be kind of precise on where you spray it. Right. Okay, so you want to make sure your point is to get it in this lower area or these lower areas. Is just pretty much focus on all the lower areas. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to do blend. Okay, if you watch my videos on it, you'll see as I'm painting, especially I'm not sure which video shows it best now that I'm thinking about it. Most of the painting of my ARF helmet. If you look at the light of paint of my ARF helmet and in the animated series Armor, you'll see a lot more of the painting technique of how I just kind of mist it on. And at times I might hold the part really far away, or I might even just leave it on the ground and stand up and be kind of far away and just letting it fall on there. Sometimes to get in these corners, I'll test my spray can, because a lot of the newer cans now, they have that tip that you can turn going so it sprays more up and down or sideways. Okay, they don't all spray in a circle anymore. Like a lot of times, the old Krylon cans, that's all they do is a circle. Now you can actually get the wide angled stream, which is great, because that's what you want to do. Is if you're going to want to, let's say you're hitting this way, then you want to make sure your angle is right on. Turn it so you're angling right on the part. Don't try to do like this. Then you're gonna have all that area that you're gonna need to sand, and it's not fun. Sanding is not fun. You want to just use this as a weathering technique. You don't want to be there like, oh gosh, when is this gonna be done? That's not what you're trying to do at all. And the same thing with here. So then you might be holding it. If you know your angle of your paint's gonna spray this way, and cover it like that. And all of these, try to find out exactly where you're gonna spray and just spray down on all the spots. Okay, don't spray the entire belt. Okay, it's literally just where you want the gray paint to be. The gray paint, it's like I said, it's not fun to sand, so you don't put too much. Put it where you know you need it. Try to get your aim true, I guess is what I would say.
Is the gray in the boxes hand painted or straight?
No, everything is spray painted. So that is multiple coats there. Okay, so that means I had to sand this edge in here, so I sanded the gray paint away and left it all down inside the recessed area. So this one I was, spraying like this and just kind of getting it kind of heavy in there.
Did you attach the boxes after you painted the codpiece?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else should be assembled and painted in that method?
Okay, so the boxes are completely off when you paint it. The detonator is completely off when you paint it, because those are parts that you can screw on. Okay. Everything else is pretty much glued together. So that's pretty much it. And the shoe straps are off for the most part. You're going to paint your whole shoe white. Okay. And then I would weather it. I would weather it without the shoe straps on if you feel comfortable with being able to match your shoe straps. That's not how I did yours. I actually left them on when I weathered yours. Didn't do that. But it doesn't look so bad either. And I'm like, wait a minute. So as you can tell here, I'll probably bring it up to the camera. So the whole thing was painted white. The shoe straps were put on afterwards. But if I pull back the shoe disc a little bit, you can see how it's still white underneath there.
So the disc was on, but the straps were off?
No.
No.
What is it?
Just throw all one piece.
Yeah, this is all one piece.
No, I thought these Velcroed off.
Oh, yes. So, okay, I'm sorry, let me back up. So what I'm saying is before I even riveted these pieces together, I painted the whole shoe white.
Okay.
So I put the whole white base coat, then I riveted these pieces on, I think, is what I did. Man, I'm trying to remember how I did. Yeah, because the stitching's all white here. So the entire shoe is painted white with the strap glued on. I guess, what do I call it, center strip?
Okay.
Maybe not a strap, I'm sorry. So center strip glued on. Then the circular discs were riveted on. These were attached, and then I did the weathering.
Okay.
Okay, so repeat. Glue this on, paint white, paint this white, attach it, then weather it. Okay, that works. Oh, another thing. Before gluing this on, wipe down the entire shoe, okay, with, what did we use? Oh gosh, what did we use? Acetone. Acetone, okay? You want to remove as much brown from the original shoe. Where did the original shoe go?
Nail polish remover.
I guess you can use nail polish remover. You didn't use acetone. Where's John? Huh? You didn't use acetone. Well, it's still stuck. Maybe you did.
Because the tanning on chemicals and oils will make it.
Yeah, because it's still like a little waxy. He'll be okay. He'll have to go over the whole thing with acetone. It kills the wax on the shoe. Okay, because you want to make sure the white paint is definitely going to bond. So yeah, really just drench it with acetone and just really get rid of much of the brown. I mean, the cloth that you're using will turn brown. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
And so that's pretty much that.
I got about 2 minutes to tape. Any last minute things you want these guys to know?
Basically, what you'd want to do is lay out all your parts as if it was the actual body. So when you're doing your weathering, it looks possible. Okay. So if you've got dirt on your leg here, it's probably going to carry up to your thigh. Okay. So that's kind of like an important measure to make sure that each piece, when they go together, what's out here? Where's your other leg piece that's opposite here? Yeah. And your other shoe, buried in there. So when the two parts go together, the weathering can look like it's believable.
Okay.
And with the thighs and so forth. So just you want to make it believable. You don't want to have one leg that's really dark and one thigh that's not, whatever. You don't want to look like you're pieced together. You want to look like you've just been out in battle. So just check that. Make sure it's all looks possible. Is something I can say as far as weathering goes.
And then I also noticed that some of the inside pieces are done gray.
Yes. So inside the knee, I just coated that pretty well with the gray. Behind the elbows, painted that in there pretty gray because it looks like, when I see the animated characters move, you can kind of see down inside their knee. It's always like a darker gray, and behind the elbows always a darker gray. And I think these are the only two parts that require the inner part being of a different color. Nothing else really shows. So yeah, just the forearms with the elbows, area that's attached, and the knee, which is attached to the shin. And that's it. And again, that's all with the smoke gray. So it's pretty much all the Krylon white and the smoke gray for the entire set. If you want to add a little bit of natural like earth tone to kind of take down the white, you can use the beige and then just lightly mist that on. But I would only recommend that if you're going more of the ARF Lightning Squad, because they tend to have a little bit more yellowish than a standard Grunt. Standard Grunt seems to be very true stark white and gray. So that's just kind of a third color if you want to add to that if you want. And again, the same thing, lightly misting that on and using the sanding sponge and just going in kind of different directions to just make it look like it hasn't been sprayed directly out of a paint can.
What's the coarse rating on your sponge?
I use medium grit mostly. Some fine grit. I hardly use the what's the other one? I guess you got medium, but I guess I don't think they call it hard. They call it what?
Coarse.
Coarse. Yeah, I don't use the coarse that much because it scars. It scars in it too much. So I'd say medium grit is probably your safest bet, and something maybe your finer grit to kind of get a nice blend. And that's pretty much it. Any other questions?
15 minutes.
How much do you charge to assemble this for us?
Oh, that's priceless.